Hello everyone, good evening. This is Vibi. So welcome back to our channel, The Nightingale Tales. Before getting into video, don't forget to subscribe our channel, The Nightingale Tales. Also, if you have any further doubts, you can comment down in the comment section. I'll reply for sure. Okay, so this video is for all those nursing aspirants who want to become a nursing officer in future. Okay, this is the day one preparation. I'll be posting regularly videos, so guys, don't forget to subscribe the channel and follow us for regular updates. So again, into the video, AIIMS NORCET 2021 preparation starts from today. So the day one preparation includes MCQs, image based questions, all this. So if you want extra information or different topic, please comment down. Okay, so the first question, so cold calorie test used to check the functioning of. So why the cold calorie test is used, on which part it is being used. Okay, so cold calorie test is used to check the functioning of the brainstem, the pons, midbrain and the brainstem. Okay, brainstem, to test the brainstem they use this test called cold calorie test. What is cold calorie test and why it is used? So this is mainly used to test whether there is any damage to the acoustic nerve and the brainstem. If the person is having a problem with the hearing, and if he is losing his balance frequently, he can't able to balance his body or his body weight, then obviously there would be any problem, or obviously there would be some damage to the acoustic nerve or brainstem. So this cold calorie test is used primarily to diagnose the any damage to the acoustic nerve, as it maintains the hearing of a person, and the brainstem, which coordinates the balance of a person. Okay, so coming back to question number 2. So aneurysm affects which layer of the artery? As you all know, artery has 3 layers: tunica media, tunica adventitia, tunica albicans. Okay, so the aneurysm affects which layer of the artery? So the answer is tunica media. It is the middle layer of the artery. Artery has 3 layers and the tunica media is the middle layer. The aneurysm affects the middle layer, that is called tunica media. Okay, next question number 3. Before the procedure, obtaining informed consent is the responsibility of whom? Okay, so in what, before the surgeries or before any investigation procedures where the consent is required, will take a consent from the patient. Taking consent from the patient is very mandatory and it is very particular. So actually, whom of this healthcare team members are 8 members, right? Whom should take this consent? So it is always the doctors or the physician's responsibility to take the consent from the patient. Okay, it is never a nurse or some other person responsibility, but it is the doctors or the physician's responsibility to obtain a consent from the patient. Also, explaining the consent is also a part of doctor's job. Okay, next question number 4. When a nurse enters the patient's room for administering medication, she notices that the patient food remained on the table. Helping patient to eat food and then giving medicine is called. Okay, we all know that before taking any medication, the patient should be stomach full. He should have eaten properly so that the tablet or the injection should have so much power that eating food properly gets the drug absorbed well and gives some power to, or gives some strength to the patient, and it is very necessary. So under which role and helping the patient to eat food and then giving medicine is called beneficence. Okay, it is a procedure or it is some method called beneficence we provide to the patient. Okay, next question number 5. The difference between apical pulse and radial pulse is called dash. So we all know the pulse taken at the apex of the heart is called apical pulse, and the pulse taken at the radial artery over your thumb line, behind or below the thumb line, over your wrist is called radial pulse. Okay, apical, while the apical pulse is taken at the apex of the heart. So there will be different pulse in the body, almost taken at different sides. Obviously there would be difference between apical pulse and radial pulse. So what is the difference called? So if there is any like 5 to 10 beats, if there would be change like 5 to 10 beats or more or less between the both apical and radial pulse, then that difference is called pulse deficit. Okay, pulse deficit. Coming back to question number 6, apical pulse is assessed by placing the diaphragm of the stethoscope at the area of. We all know that apical pulse is recorded or taken at the apex of the heart. The apical pulse site is apex of the heart. So you know the diaphragm, the front part of the steth. So where should we keep the steth to get the apical pulse? The steth should be placed, or the diaphragm, the front part of the steth should be placed over the mitral area of the heart. You know, heart has two walls, bicuspid wall and tricuspid wall. So you have to place on the mitral wall of the heart blindly and start to listen the apical pulse. Okay, next is question number 7, sudden fall of temperature is called. So the person is having a normal room temperature or normal body temperature, that is either 98.4 degree Fahrenheit or 36.8 degree centigrade. So what happens is as he is having usual temperature or he is having high temperature, there will be a sudden fall in the temperature, and that situation is called crisis. Okay, coming back to question number 8, in a patient receiving IV fluids, sluggish flow, redness and tenderness at the site of cannula indicates. We all know if you put a cannula on the day 1, by day 3 or day 4 there will be sluggish flow, that the flow through that cannula is decreased, and there will be redness around the cannula where we have injected or where the site of injection is seen, and there is tenderness, a hard mass is felt over the injected area. So that is called venous spasm. Okay, venous spasm. The vein or the capillary where we punctured to put a IV cannula gets spasm. Okay, that is called venous spasm. Next is coming back to 9th question, the Z-track method of intramuscular injection is used at preferably. We all know intramuscular injection is given at muscle. Okay, muscles over prescribed muscles over the body. So we all know what is Z-track method. Okay, we'll give the injection in a Z-track method just by stretching the skin over the muscular site. Okay, that is Z-track method, and the commonly used commonly preferable site for intramuscular injection mainly for Z-track method is ventrogluteal site. Okay, answer is ventrogluteal site. Next is question number 10, antidote for heparin is. So we all know for every drug there will be overload or toxicity, and there will be antidote to cure that. So if the person is having heavy loads of heparin in his body, or the heparin has been given in overdose manner, so we have to give antidote to reduce the effect of this heparin. Okay, so the answer for antidote of heparin is protamine sulfate. If the person is treated with high doses of heparin, then he should be given protamine sulfate which acts as antidote. So next question, so this is for you guys. So if you know the answer, please comment down in the comment section. I'll say you whether it is correct or not. Okay, so what is the maximum volume that can be given as IM injection in an adult? Okay, you got an adult patient and you have to give IM injection to him. So as a nurse you should know what is the maximum volume that can be injected in the muscle. Okay, if you choose a muscle, we have to inject like there will be a parameter. What is that particular parameter? What is the maximum volume you can inject into the muscle? Okay, so if you have any doubts regarding the video, you can comment down in the comment section. Will give you reply. Okay, please watch our videos and share our videos to your friends who are in need for the preparation. And please don't forget to subscribe our channel, The Nightingale Tales. This is Vibi signing off.